Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here as always with my partner, Mr. Tate Mathews. Tate, exciting week 2 in football, but really, if you look across the district in the other sports that are starting up, some exciting stuff going on. So, a lot to talk about today.
A lot to talk about, a lot of excitement. Friday night, woo! Week 1 was great. Week 2 was even better.
You think it's fair to say, and I tried to get this out of Coach Stewart and Coach Coleman, they weren't totally
You're not going to get it.
biting on this one. Isn't that the week you see the biggest improvement?
That's what they say. I don't know.
They gave me, now maybe they did answer, but I feel like they gave me the, everything's important and,
Right.
coaches.
Yes.
I used to be one of them.
We're just trying to get better every day. We're just trying to,
Every snap counts, which it does. Man, Centennial.
On a roll.
And that's where we'll start. WCTV Game of the Week. I'm telling you, I thought Centennial would win. We both felt like Centennial. I didn't think it would be like this. I thought it would be maybe a fourth quarter kind of deal. And I don't think Summit's terrible.
They're not.
I mean, Centennial's they're good.
Yeah, they're playing really well, and we already knew they were good offensively, but to shut them out, defense is probably getting some more confidence, playing together more as a unit, and I don't think you can stress enough the way the offensive line is playing. Yes, we've got some athletes making some big plays, but they're doing most of this on the ground. The offensive line's playing at a really high level. That's kind of Coach Stewart's deal, right, man? They kind of have an edge. They kind of have a bravado about them, his teams. He's got these guys playing confident and with an attitude, too.
So we're going to jump right in, Tate, because it's very relevant with the gym. Dominic Reed, 4 touchdowns. That's 8 now on the season. 4 in game 1, 4 in game 2. And you're talking about efficient. 8 carries, 70 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's a pretty good night. They
get down about that, inside about the 13 in, the 12 in. You're going to see a heavy dose of number 1, and I haven't seen him. It's kind of like we talked about last week, that Swamp Kings. It's kind of like Tebow. He's always going forward. So, 8 carries, 70 yards, 4 touchdowns. Those are Hall of Fame numbers right there, buddy. But don't lose track of the side. We had to get him down there, right? A lot of other guys doing some great stuff on offense. Offense too. He just finishes. He's the closer.
428 total yards to 141.
Yeah.
That's the dominating performance. And speaking of those other guys contributing, let's take a look at the WCTV Play of the Week.
Centennial opens up again 3 wide to the top of the field, single back set. Fakes the same play, hits a receiver underneath. That's going to be number 3, turning the Jets on, missed tackle downfield, one man to beat, and he's going to be in the end zone.
61 yards, Kenai Johnson.
And so there, Paul, you see the explosiveness, the athletes they have on the outside and in the backfield. You can see why there's a little bit of hype behind the Centennial Cougars this year because they, as they say, the dogs can run.
You see Kenai Johnson right there.
Tiptoeing the sideline also.
Yeah, so 61 in a cloud of dust.
Beautiful play, great throw, great catch by our man Kenai Johnson, who had 4 receptions for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I don't know if you saw it. It was great. That RPO stuff's tough. Go back and watch it. Watch those 2 guards pull. Both the guards pull, and it sucked both those linebackers up because they thought it was the R in the RPO, right? And that's right where if those linebackers had have dropped, that's right where Kenai's route was going. So a lot of great things on that play, but the 2 guards get an A+ for execution.
Now, I don't know what Elisha Yevis, what offense he was running before, but I'm assuming this is what
we're talking down there at the
what kind of dump is this?
The Jumbo House dump. Give me a break.
Listen, here's what I would say. Here's what I would say. I'm nervous.
Santa Fe dump.
If I'm a future opponent of Centennial's because with the new coach, new QB, you're thinking, okay, it's going to take them a while to get going. those first two games, and these are teams. You got Donnie Webb, Brian Coleman, Alex Melton. These are all guys who are working with their defenses in those first 2 weeks. They scored 76 points.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. Look out, man. Look out. And they got another good game this week.
Playing at a high level, 6 for 8, 202 yards. The only thing I think would be a little worrisome is 4 of those 6 went to Kenai, right? So we got to get some other guys involved, but we will. And only his second game as a Cougar. I'd say they got to be smiling because that passing game is going to be, it's just going to keep getting better.
Dominic Hollis for Summit, 11 carries, 53 yards. Now,
that was a hard-earned 53 yards too.
For sure. And what may be, probably my favorite game of the week.
Yeah.
This past week for a lot of different reasons. Brentwood with a 21-18 win over Brentwood Academy. Baylor Hayes with a 9-yard quarterback keep with less than a minute remaining to put Brentwood up. What do? They block a field goal to end the game. And I was thinking about Dennis King when I was reading this. Down 18-7.
I was thinking about you quoting Dennis King. But
Oh, you are?
Yeah, oh yeah. I knew you were going there.
18-7, 10 minutes remaining, and they pull
Against
out a
Brentwood
win.
Academy.
That's right. They pull a win out when they shouldn't. Dennis King called it rich kid luck. He said, I see it in all the sports that we – and we're not using that in the – Coach King said
it's
it.
a compliment.
Coach King said it.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. So they just somehow, when you look at sports and you look at it at Brentwood, they do this in a lot of sports.
Yeah.
That's why they've got 974 state titles or whatever it is. They just – the way they did it did not surprise me.
No. Well, they believe they're going to win. And it's not in an arrogant way, but they just do. They believe they're going to win. And, hey, they were down 18-7. They were down 11-0 before that. They were down pretty much the whole game. And then, at the end of the fourth quarter, they come back and they win. And, that's part of what I liked about these guys in the preseason, man. There's really no holes. They're solid in all areas of the game. And they just – these kids expect to be successful, and they were. This is big, man. It's never happened before. They haven't played a whole lot, but this is the first time they've ever beat them in the history of the school. And to come back and win like that, man, it was a total team effort. And they only gave up 57 yards rushing. So
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Now McIntyre had a lot of passing yards, but it only turned into 18 points. So I don't know if bend but not break is the right way to phrase it, but that's kind of what it was. Hey, he's going to pass for some, but when they get down there, we're shutting that thing off. They're going to have to beat us by field goals, and they couldn't kick enough of them to. They were one field goal short of getting the win, and that kid, seriously, he might be the best kicker in the country. Got a block on it. Everything about it's just awesome. Total team win. And I'm so happy for Coach Clint Finch, man.
Me too.
One of the good dudes.
You know what else I liked about this is they go down and get stopped on the 1-yard line the previous possession.
Right.
Coach Finch, I have to give you credit now. The season's not over, but you were on to something early. And when I was reading what Coach Finch was saying about his team, I thought, is that Tate Mathews talking? I like the team. They're businesslike. I've got older guys. I'm just telling you, it's they're planning on playing the last game of the year.
Yes.
Now, Mama Hester and Coach Hester are going to have something to say about that.
And they got better this week, too.
They did.
Back to your biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2, Ravenwood definitely did that. Their week 1 opponent has something to do with it. But again, there were so many times they could have hung their head. Oh, boy, here we go again. They did not do it. They kept pressing. And the other thing, too, is I think everybody in Wilco I thought already knew. But if you didn't know the name Baylor Hayes, you know it after Friday night, after the first 2 weeks. Heck of a player. You're going up against, I think George is a 5-star. And he's a 5, and I make sure people know that, too. He's a 5-star for a reason. He's really good. But by golly, Baylor Hayes didn't back down at all. And he put on a show of his own.
We got a QB,
We got a QB too.
Independence Page, maybe the best game of the week.
Most entertaining.
30-27 Independence in 3 overtimes, and that really doesn't even tell the story. They were dominated in the first half.
Dominated.
I think they had like 14 rushing yards. I was listening to Joe and Dana on the call. A little bit I was at the Summit game. I was listening to that one too, and you could tell it when the second half started that it wasn't really as close as the score.
Right.
They were really getting beat worse than that. And what does Coach Stidham do? He starts the second half with an onside kick that they recover. If they don't recover that, the game's over.
Right.
But they do recover it. Then they go down to show you the kind of resilience his team has. Is they're down 17-0. They end up settling for a field goal to make it 17-3. And in that particular drive, it seemed like that maybe took the sails out of it since we only got 3. I'll say this. Those kids believe in Coach Stidham. I'm not questioning that at all.
No doubt.
But I think for a coach, there's a win that you go, oh, now I really do. That one feels like that to me because of how they won.
Yeah.
What would you say about that?
Oh, I think you're spot on. It was a signature win, his first one since he's been there. And you're right. It was tale of two halves. They were dominated in the first half. They dominated in the second half. Hey, they shut Page out in the second half, until we go
It
to
had
overtime.
to, or they wouldn't have won.
Or they wouldn't have won. So yeah, same thing. Kind of like the Brentwood. A different. It's just his second year, but I think those kids kind of expect to win too. And that was one that I think they could have easily maybe. And if they had given up for any amount of time in the second half, you're right. It took all 24 minutes of the second half, right? So. For them to stay on that, they, like you said, I think they believe in their coach and their coaching staff and each other. So, and there were so many different people that contributed to it. But I don't know how you don't give our boy Landrick Majewski the game ball, and you'll be talking about that in a second. But hard not to give the game ball to the defense for that second half performance, and it always warms my heart. Some of the contributors on defense, Steele Katina. We know that name. Blaze Katina, what a great name. Reed Maxson, Reese Pickering. So that defense was lights out second half.
Majewski, who you mentioned, 24-yard field goal to win it after the defense had stopped Page.
Kickers don't get enough love. 24-yard field goal to win it in overtime. He was 3 for 3 on PATs and 3 for 3 on field goals.
You love the kickers.
That'd been a great fantasy day if he was on your.
Well, maybe Tommy
fantasy
K's got him on his team. In the first overtime too, McNeely
Yep.
hits Braden Needham 4th down from the 15.
Here's what I want to know. I would love to have been on the headsets. All right. So it's overtime. We've fought, we've clawed, we've battled. We shut out Page in the second half, and we're in overtime, and we get to 4th and 15. Okay. So that we're on the 15. That means we got to get to the goal line. What is the play call? Where on the play call sheet is 4th and 15 in overtime?
I got a feeling it's not on there.
And he got popped right as he threw it.
You know what else I like about this? And I love Page. In fact, the Indy people have sort of been reminding me how much I love Page.
I did not know this. I have a niece at Independence now.
Oh.
Apparently on TikTok or something, they made sure to get their shots in on us, by the way. Do you know about this?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Which I
love it.
We can handle it. It means you're watching. So I guarantee you, as a guy who, defensively probably had some of these folks doing this to me at one time or another. I'm sure when it was 17-0 and they're still running, somebody's going, throw the ball, coach, throw the ball.
Yeah.
And then when the game ended and they won, it's the same ones going, way to go.
Knew it. We had him all part of the plan.
I love it.
Hey, think about this too. Think about not getting too down on yourself. When you were talking about the first half getting dominated, Independence had 14 offensive yards in the first
14.
half. That's you almost, you know what I'm saying? So, Coach Stidham.
Let's talk a little Page here, especially their defense. Hazard in on 2 forced fumbles. He recovered 1. He had 4 tackles for a loss. Caden Walker, 11.5 tackles and a sack. Brendan Ains, who I know Coach loves, 9 tackles, a sack, 4 tackles for a loss. Sean Cunningham, 8 tackles. So great win for Independence over a very good Page. I'll put it this way. When you talk about the 4 best teams, if we were all one league, the 4 best teams, Page would be in there. They're one of our 4 best teams.
Yeah.
They just are. Really, really good win for Independence. And game day will be there this Friday. So looking forward to that.
I wonder if they'll remember us.
Depends
on what happens in Pick'ems.
They'll be
Oh, I forgot. I'm glad you reminded me of
They'll
that.
be okay. Nolensville. Is Nolensville maybe the early surprise of the county?
No, I think they were the ones that were overlooked.
The overlooked
A
team.
bunch
Okay.
of dodos thought they knew what they were talking about, and I think they're just a lot better to begin with than we thought they were because they lost a lot of people. But yeah, they're legit.
50-24 against an improved Antioch team.
I talked to Chuck Gentry at Lebanon, who they played in the first week. I said, "Hey, are you all just not very good, or are they that much improved?" He said, "They're that much improved." Antioch's a good football team now.
499 yards to 28. They're up 37-8 at the half. Great game for Ty Collins. His stats were great. 14 for 18, 273 yards and 4 touchdowns as the QB. Zion Tomaska, he had 5 receptions.
Zion, don't call me Zion.
Don't call
With
me Connie.
another big week.
91 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Ty Collins, here's what I love about it. He's first-year starter. He's come over. He's QB1 now. Second straight game, man. He's got 4 touchdowns, and he got another rush one. I mean, he's doing it through the air. He's doing it with his feet. 14 for 18. That's hard for some people to do against air. Out there on flag football, they don't go 14 for 18. He's playing at a high level.
He really is. Jackson Bandy, another good game defensively.
Jackson.
10 tackles, 4 for a loss. Quinn Boyd and Zayden Morales both had interceptions. Joseph Caron forced a fumble and had a sack. Defense is playing well, which is no surprise.
Yep.
Offense, they're
Playing
hitting
great.
on, they're hitting on, I wouldn't, maybe not all cylinders yet, but pretty good considering what they lost.
If we had an all-Wilco team at the end of this on defense, Jackson Bandy's going to be on that team. You can go ahead and bank on that.
Oh, we've had a Wilco Awards. Hey,
Oh,
defensive
player
player
there.
here.
Go ahead and write it down. He'll be a finalist.
Wow. Jackson don't make plans.
And I love that because Coach Derrick, before he was head coach, Coach Derrick cut his teeth secondary guy. And that's still kind of where his passion is. And if you watch Nolensville football, they're going to be around the football in the secondary and get interceptions.
So when I say don't make plans, Jackson, what I mean to be out of town.
That's right. To be at the factory
Make sure your plans are local.
with your street tuxedo on.
You mentioned this earlier. We thought they would win. And listen, Cane Ridge, they're probably not quite what they've been in the past, but they're still good. It's Cane Ridge. They've got a good team. They're used to winning.
Yeah.
Over 600 yards of offense for Ravenwood and a 35-7 win. Carter Pace, 16 carries, 104 yards, a touchdown. That dude's a high school football player, isn't he?
He's a football player is what he is. And Coach Hester said it earlier in the year. Once he gets 100% healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the state, not in the area, in the state. 16 carries, 104 yards, touchdown, and he's on a pitch count right now. Okay? But here's what, this jumped out to me, over 600 yards of offense, 400 plus rushing. Against Cane Ridge, they're not, this isn't the zoo at Grassmere Dump that we're talking about here. This is the Cane Ridge Ravens, okay? So over 400 plus yards, and I had a lot of guys that contributed to it. This was a dominating win over a 6A program that a lot of people think have a chance to even thought had a chance to make it all the way to Cookeville. So, and what about this? Phoebe Babola goes most of the way at quarterback. Okay, that thing was a 3-quarterback race all the way up to week 1. And Femi was the number 3 man in the Alcoa game because there's some things that happened last week. Femi's the man this week. And
Femi, love that name.
Oh yeah, and he goes out and he does a great job.
Babalola.
35-7. So what does that tell me? He didn't get to start. week one. He didn't pout. He didn't shake his head. His dad didn't put a for sale sign in the yard and try to move to flipping Anderson County or wherever. He stayed the course, and look what happened week two.
Davis Dowling, 13 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Max Henderson, 9.5 tackles. And then Jacob, wearing number 0, Thompson, with 2 sacks. The defense only gave up 187 yards.
Yeah, and a lot of people saw
Played
Cane
well.
Ridge last week because they were the Friday night rivals game. They're talented. They got athletes. That's a great performance. But here's the thing that the paper missed. Jaden Smitherman. Interception return for a touchdown. Blocked punt, scoop, and score for a touchdown. 12 points by Jaden Smitherman alone.
Cane Ridge had 7.
Jaden won.
Franklin, tough loss at home to Franklin Road Academy, 47-21. Brewer Wilson, 12 for 24, 119 yards, a couple of touchdowns, one of those to Lucas Young. Fairview, 21-47 losers at Waverly, a very good Waverly team, by the way. Jax McCoy, 126 yards passing and 2 touchdowns.
Getting better.
Wendell Billings, that's a good player now.
Yeah.
Mr. 24 tackles last week, 88 yards receiving, both of those touchdowns. Kentrell Henderson with a rushing touchdown for Fairview.
Coach, Wendell, 18 tackles this week.
He's a baller.
For those counting, that's 42 in 2 weeks.
40.
That's like, I don't know who to.
It's a lot of tackles.
That's a lot of tackles.
Well,
man.
and you know, some
and he's playing offense.
he's a really good player. He really is.
You've been on him early.
I like Wendell.
Wendell's the man.
He came out for the media guide, shoot, and I was there with him. First of all, that uniform is so legit that it's so good.
You don't need the lights.
Pantone.
I think it's 106 or
Yeah.
10, PMS 103 or something.
He looked good in the uni.
Yeah, he looked like a football player.
He really does. Hey, Page High School. Listen, here's one of the, talk about Page being on the rise. We're going to get back to football with picks here in a little bit, but let's talk a little volleyball. Welcome to the district, Page. Wins over Nolensville and Brentwood. Brentwood in 5 sets. It's one of those things too, because Brentwood's always really had their number when they've played. They're up 2 sets, 1. Brentwood wins set 4 to go up 25-18, and you're thinking, oh, okay. I guess we're going to, no. 15-10 in the 5th set. Great win for Coach Hess and Page.
But those are two quality. And
Yes.
back to back like that, that's okay. Maybe they snuck up on them. Nope.
Hey, and let's don't forget, everybody talks about Brentwood winning state titles, but
Page has them. That's right.
Page done it too. That's been a volleyball program for a while, so fitting in nicely in the large classification. Soccer.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Soccer, one we didn't get to mention last week, Brentwood with a 1-0 win over Ravenwood in the soccer battle of the woods. Jewel Molina with the shutout and had 21 shots on goal. So Ravenwood was getting their chances.
Yeah.
21 shots on goal. Couldn't get one past Jewel. Kayla Childs with the only goal of the match. 1-0 district win. A big one there for Brentwood.
Big win in the Battle of the Wood Women's Soccer Edition. Ravenwood has had their number the past few years. That's a big win for Brentwood. Maybe a little psyche changer. That was big. And you're right, 21 shots on goal. That's about as active as you're going to be as a goalkeeper.
It really is. Page won the Smoky Mountain Cup for the 3rd straight year.
Coach Clapp likes to go there. He must like Dollywood or something.
Adidas, big sponsor of that tournament.
Big sponsor. That's a great tournament, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, when you watch World Cup and always Adidas.
Yeah, that's not even close on that one.
It's really not. Let's talk a little golf. Again, I like that we've got these schools that are on the rise, and Nolensville with a golf win over Ravenwood in boys. That hadn't been a thing. Maybe the first time they've ever won. 157-169 low score wins. Luke Beatles led the team. He was 3 under 33, only played 9 holes in that match. 3 under 33. Ravenwood did win the girls' match. 86-98. So congratulations to Coach Ladd.
I was going to ask you, are you going to give the golf coach
Got to give him some credit.
the golf coach some credit?
Coach Ladd's awesome.
Is he Luke Beadle's personal swing coach?
I think he tries to claim it. He's great. The golf coaches, they're fun.
They got a good gig, man.
They do.
We got to get back to Sevier County this year.
We talked about it.
We got a problem.
Maybe
Houston. Jeez, I would strongly encourage anybody that,
It's so fun.
for whatever reasons, thinking about going to that state golf tournament, go.
It's fun. It's fun. Tate, it's time to talk a little pick'em. Listen, I will never count you out because you are the guru.
It's pretty bad.
You are the guru when it comes to picking these games. Just a review of last week. The fans had a tough one now. They went 3-4. They're now 9-6 overall.
Is it safe to say they're out?
No, they're not out.
Oh, okay. Keep voting.
They're probably. Yeah, we want you to keep voting on X, which is weird.
What?
WCS.
At some point, we got to address that. Too.
WCS.
What's your thoughts on
Athletic.
that?
Well, I was confused when I got on there one day because I pulled up on my computer and I'm like, I typed it. I was like, what's X?
Did I get hacked?
Didn't you say last week that the logo looked kind of like the Prince,
Yeah.
the artist formerly known as Prince
Right.
logo?
The platform formerly
Rest in
known as
peace.
Twitter.
Rest in peace to.
He was a genius.
He was
He's a
awesome.
weirdo too.
Uh,
I'm back.
You're back. You are back. Well, except when it comes to pick'em. So you were 5-2, which is not a bad week, but the problem is Dr. Qualls and I were both 6-1. I cannot believe he was 6-1. I was the only one that picked Brent. Even the fans picked Brentwood Academy.
I'm starting to think that maybe somebody's feeding him information.
I get the picks from him the day of because I don't trust him.
Right.
Although I noticed he had picked, I won't tell you which game he had picked. Well, I will say it. It doesn't matter. He had picked Antioch
What?
to beat Nowensville, and then he texted me back pretty shortly thereafter. He said, I'm about to change that one, so I let him change it. But he picked Indy to beat Page. Of course, that's kind of a home game for him.
Yeah. Major's a sophomore. He's pandering. I think that's called pandering.
Pandering. So he and I are both 6, but we had a 3-game lead on you, Tate.
No, this is a tail whipping. Y'all are Centennial and I'm flipping Spring Hill. This is bad. Got to get together.
You're Hollow Rock Brewston.
Hollow Rock Brewston. They do have a state. They used to just be called Brewston. They do have a state championship.
I feel like it's a Pennsylvania school.
There was a heck of a football player came out of Brewston though. What's the guy's name? He went to Ole Miss and then he played for the San Francisco 49ers. Great linebacker. Tennessee didn't take him.
Oh, that guy played there?
He's from Brewston. They played him at running back, single A. Can you imagine those guys trying to tackle him? What was his name?
I forget. I feel like he wore like number 42 at
Yep.
Ole Miss.
Yeah. Heck of a player, man. Long time. It'll come to me. But
So Tate.
so yes, that's not impressive. But there was a time when they were impressive.
So
And I don't even know who Greenfield is. I thought they were in East Tennessee.
we've got 7 games to pick.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start off picking Brentwood 2-0.
Now, Coach Plummer watches the show. I'm gonna warn you before you make your pick.
Well, he knows I'll dog Henderson.
But go
He
ahead.
knows that's a tradition.
Okay.
I love Coach Plummer, by the way.
I know you do.
But he comes out to our coaching PD, and I always get a little knock in on Hendersonville.
You did this year.
Yes, did he tell you about?
I was sitting there.
Oh, that's right. But I love Coach Plummer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's great. Always, when I was at Beaches in Hendersonville, always talked to him. I so respect him.
Class man, he and Coach P very much respect each other.
He is a good dude. That being said,
Sorry, Brentwood 2-0. Hey,
I know.
who's picking first? You?
I am. So
I'm not trying to influence you, but let me tell you something. They are much improved.
Let me just go ahead and tell you this. Sorry, Coach
They
Plummer.
could be playing Hollow Rock
I
Brewston.
will never pick Hendersonville.
What if they're playing Hollow Rock Brewston?
I'm going with Hollow Rock, Brewston. I know they're good though, and I love a lot of the people over in Hendersonville. It's a beach thing. Though.
Hey, I get it.
Brentwood 2-0 at Hendersonville 2-0. So I'll give you a chance to get back in it. Supposedly, I'm picking Brentwood, even though Hendersonville's got 2 convincing wins, one over Gallatin, and then Clarksville Northeast. If that's convincing and impressive, I'm going Brentwood.
Hendersonville scored 44 points against our friends in Gallatin. Camp Gallatin. But, hey, man, Calvin Short and T.D. Woods, they're not at Gallatin anymore. That was still impressive. I'm a big Commandos fan. I've been on Brentwood since the beginning. I'm sorry I let you down last week and picked against you. It won't happen again. I'm going with the Bruins.
Well, Brentwood shouldn't be mad at you anyway.
But this isn't a boat race.
You said early on you were on Team Brentwood early on.
Trust me, I got some.
You even wore their. You kind of got a little.
You
got their colors on.
I got some nice pick on Friday night at about 10:45. They started coming through.
That's great.
I'm going with the Bruins.
As am I. Here's one you're going for. This is interesting. Fairview at Stewart County. They're both 0-2. It's basically a playoff game. Whoever wins this game's in. Because it's a 5-team region.
Okay.
So
at Stewart County, that's a rough road trip.
And listen, man. Stewart lost to Hollow Rock, Brewston, and Greenfield. So I'm going to let you.
Wait, I thought they were 0-2.
They're 0-2.
They lost to Hollow Rock and Brewston and Greenfield. That was a joke. Hollow Rock Brewston's one school.
Yeah. You knew I knew that, didn't you?
Yes, of course. I'm just making fun of this absurdity of it.
Who you got? I feel like
I mean, I kind of like you. You would never pick Hendersonville. There's no way. Stewart County could be 2-0. I'm not picking them. Jackson McCoy's a puppy, but he's getting better. He's got two. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's gaining experience. He's an athlete. He's going to be really good. He's just a puppy dog. He's got 2 games under him. He's athletic. Hey, man, Coach Hughes has been there before, and now he's mad. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
I'm going with Fairview.
The only problem is that's such a long road trip, you can't get back to Snappies in time. But I'm going Fairview.
I'm going Fairview.
Okay.
So we're still no third game. I'll pick this one.
I feel like you're going to shock the world here.
No. Well, I think no. Franklin 0-2 at Page 1-1. I'll tell you this: if Page comes in 2-0, maybe I pick Franklin. I think this is going to be a great game. Franklin's they are not bad.
Hey, we because we needed to, but I'm telling you, the Brewer Wilson to Lucas Young and Wills Jackson and Jack Flynn, man, that's a potent combination.
It is.
That they're going to score points against anybody.
Let me tell you what I think the difference in this one is.
Okay.
Page going to be a little mad.
Yeah. Page is banged up.
They're good though, and I think Franklin's good. I do. I'm going with the home team though, Page. Here's your shot, big boy.
No, they're going to get somebody, but I'm with you. I think Page is a little bit. I think they're a little bit mad. I think they're going to get a big addition this week.
A big one.
A big one. So I'm going with the Patriots.
So we agree.
Yes.
Nolensville at McGavock. I got a feeling we're going to agree about this one too.
Yes.
Who you got?
Freddie B, the coach of McGavock. I love him. He's a good friend. But Nolo is playing at a high level. They're put together better. I'm going with Nolensville.
Nolensville.
And me probably included. A lot of people did not think Nolo was going to be 3-0. But
they're going to be 3-0. Ravenwood at Blackman. We're going to agree here too.
The Inferno?
Ravenwood's going to roll. They're not only going they're going to roll.
Boat race? Wow.
They're going to roll.
I agree. Ravenwood wins. Ravenwood's that Alcoa game is going to serve them so well down the road. Ravenwood.
Summit travels to Green Hill. It's your pick, Tate.
I think this is a pick 'em, but I got to make it up, and I can already hear it. But sometimes you just shooters got to shoot, man. So I'm going to go with the Fighting Troy Allen Green Hill Hawks.
You think it's a toss-up?
I don't really believe it, but I'm going to pick it because I know you and Qualls ain't picking them, so I got to go Green Hill.
I think you're panicking early. You're in desperation.
I'm down by 3.
You're in desperate. Listen, I said it. I believe they're better. I like what Coach Coleman's doing. He'll rally the troops. They'll go over to Green Hill. They'll get the dub. I'm going Summit.
And we know what. Just go ahead and write a Q next to that, too. He's picking Summit.
He might not.
Hey, this next one now, don't get too
I know.
free loose and fancy.
I know. WCTV Game of the Week. Independence, I can't believe I chose to pick this one first because it's going to be a no-win situation. So
Where is it?
Is that
It's
Indy?
in Indy. That's right. Yep.
I'm telling you, I won't be surprised either way. I think Indy's good. I think Centennial's good. I'm going with Coach Stewart and Centennial. And listen, Indy Nation, I know you're going to be rocking us out if it doesn't turn out that way. But I think a close game. It's a fourth quarter game. I'm going Centennial.
Oh, man. Man, the place is going to be rocking. I'm sure we're going to get a warm welcome with game day, and I'm excited about that.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. The Indy Nation never disappoints when
Never.
we're there.
It's my first game day there, by the way.
By the way, that was the we do have a few people that do care about these little side stories. That was Independence Hendersonville was a playoff game.
Is that the cold one?
No, but that was the
That was the
one
Raymond
where
game.
we were on My TV 30, and the guy tweeted, "Get these guys off here. They're making my ears bleed." That was me and Qualls, not me and you. Anyways, that was the home of Independence. That was awesome.
That is awesome.
It was great.
We'll have to bring that story up to JQ.
I sent it to Q and I said, "You know who they're talking about, right?"
It's so great.
Anyways, I hate to go against Coach Stidham now, but I'm with you, man. I'm on the Centennial train. I think they're athletic. I think they got a chip on their shoulder. So I think they get the win. And I don't know if you remember at Media Day at Mojo's Tacos, we had a heckler that was putting a sign in the window. Do you remember what it?
Yes,
So-
and I know who said Heckler was, and you do too.
Yes, and he's been reminding me, I told you, Centennial's for real. So anyways, I'm going with Centennial.
As am I. So it's coming. Are you going to be down 4? Are you going to be down 2?
Well,
That's the question.
I'll say this. If the football gods would give me the power to do it, I'd gladly go down 4 to make sure Summit won.
Hey, the way listen, it's bound to happen. It's not even close to being over. So believe me, I don't think it's over. But even
I can handle losing. to
even
you.
Missouri made it to the SEC championship game once.
I mean, Vanderbilt beat Alabama once. It was 1969. But, I can handle losing to you. I can't handle losing to the other one.
He won't win. He won't win. He won't win.
I mean, it'll just crush me.
If I have to make something up, he's not winning. No, you never know. Never know.
Yep.
Tate,
Came out of the gates hot.
thanks for being here. Looking forward to game day. Can't wait to talk about these games next week, too.
Hey, I think we need to say this real quick. Dr. Qualls started a new thing last week. Week 1.
Now, it was great.
Bring the juice, brought the juice. He's going to have his Bring the Juice trademark shirt on. But then he has one shirt that says brought the juice. And he's going to give that to somebody in the student section in the game day crowd that brings the most energy from bell to bell, whistle to whistle. And there's only one of them made.
And I like how Mathews Team Sports and Adidas have made it the school color.
It'll be Indy
So it'll
colors.
be an Indy. That's cool. That young lady that won it, I don't forget her name, but she was great.
She was great. She was great. So if you want that one-of-a-kind shirt, you got to bring the juice.
And they will.
And he picks the winner.
He
So
picks it.
it's all on
He's
him.
the juice man.
He's the juice man.
Tate, see you soon.
Yeah, bro. See you Friday.
Thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.